Personally speaking, as a person who runs businesses, I think it's important that everybody is willing to get their hands dirty and literally physically move their cargo and be hands-on with the businesses that you operate. I gotta say, if you are gonna buy a vehicle to haul cargo, Lincoln is the way to go. This is pretty classy for a hardcore cargo hauler. Anyway, this is one of my cars. Long story short, why I need a cargo hauler. I have several businesses as an entrepreneur, and one of them is arbitrage. If you don't know what that is, it basically means selling things for more money than you bought them for. You find good deals on purchases and you resell them to people who are ready to pay more. It's not a complex logic, but it is a complex business model to operate. So I have this vehicle to move cargo around. Personally speaking, as a person who runs businesses, I think it's important that everybody is willing to get their hands dirty and literally physically move their cargo and be hands-on with the businesses that you operate. Now, obviously that does take a certain physique. Not everyone's got that. You don't have to physically be hands-on in the sense of loading trucks, but being aware of what's going on. Meaning, some people, okay, they don't have the physique for it. It could be elderly, it could be handicapped, whatever the reason being. You still should be on the loading dock, seeing what's going on and being aware of how things are operating. Are they running efficiently? Are they a liability waiting to happen? Are things running dangerously? Is the cargo that you pick up disappearing? It could happen if you don't keep your eyes and ears on the road. Now, mind you, there's also got to have a balance, because the person, I once heard a business person who I respect very much say, he's walked into a office and he asked, where's the CEO? And they pointed out the window. He was mowing the lawn. And he says, when I saw a CEO mowing the lawn, I said, boy, this place is going to go down. Because that's a waste of his time. You can pay someone very little money relative to the CEO's salary to mow your lawn for you. I personally enjoy doing a little physical labor, but I hire help. I don't do much of it. I do it... Oh, come on! So, never mind that what just took place. So anyway, I hire people to help me as needed, and I don't do the physical labor entirely by myself. However, so I don't do all the physical labor myself. I do hire people regularly for that, but at the same time, I like it. I enjoy it. Keeps me fit, and at the same time, keeps my eyes and ears on the ground for when I'm running the business, what's going on. Now, mind you, it's all got to be a balance. My time is probably better spent doing other things, realistically speaking, but I enjoy it. To me, this is pleasurable. Other people watch television. I don't do that. I like to load trucks. I enjoy that. That's my hobby, and it's also a profitable thing to do, basically, with your time. So, not for everyone, but I do think that it is for everyone to be hands-on. Last night, for one of my other businesses where I operate events, for technology-focused events, I hired a cameraman who was new. I have a bunch of people who I hire regularly, none of them were available, so I hired someone new. This guy was stellar. He was a great camera person, and after we settled finances for the evening, he then stuck around to help the people put the tables back and chairs back in the venue, to rearrange the venue. Manual labor. This is a cameraman. He had no obligation to do that, and he was already paid. So he could have gone home if he wanted to. Hang on. Oop, just quick driving maneuver. He could have gone home right then and there. He was entitled to. He was paid. He was done his job. He stuck around and pushed tables, pushed chairs back where they needed to go for the venue. You know how much respect he earned from me by doing that? He is forever my cameraman unless he screws up royally. But he just completely won me over by doing that. It's such an easy thing to go over and beyond and just do a little bit more than you need to. Oh, sorry, my ears are popping. I'm in the mountains driving around up here. I'm in upstate New York right now. So, I don't know if this is called upstate or Westchester, but it's somewhere in between the two. Anyway, so here's the thing. You know what irks me really bad? When you hire someone and you ask them to do something and they turn around and tell you, that's not my job. That bugs the heck out of me. I mean, really. just really gets to me. Not your job. Okay, sometimes things are beyond what you are capable of doing. Perfectly okay and acceptable if that's the scenario. But don't say it's not your job. I mean, that just like, dude, man, rise to the occasion. When there is nobody around, you rise to the occasion, you do what you got to do. That's the startup mentality, it's the entrepreneur's mentality. It's important, really. A leader should not be afraid to get his hands dirty once in a while, but should also have the logic to measure whether it's a calculated benefit to do so, or is it better to hire someone to do what you need to do. I got an 18-wheeler riding right on the tail of my car, man. Come on. Gee whiz. That is unnerving. Ooh, mamma mia. All right. Anyway, here he's going to pass me on the right over here. You guys can't even see it because the camera's on the wrong side for that. But I'm literally on an incline on highway speeds. I'm not going slower than the speed limit. And this dude is on my right with his big rig. All right. Wow, that is that's, oh my God, that's 10 wheels. Oh my gosh, that's 10 wheels on the cab. It's a heavy duty hauling cab. Anyhow, never mind that. So let's talk a little more about getting your hands dirty. It's so important. First of all, when you work for somebody, most employers love it if you don't turn down the opportunity to go over and beyond what you need to do, and you rise to the occasion and do it. Now, again, not everyone is physically able to do that, but that's okay. What I mean is, like, if you're going for a pickup and you're on a lunch break and they ask you a question, don't say I'm on a lunch break. Answer the question. It ain't that hard. I hate that when people do that. Now, I don't mean to work people like to the bone, but sometimes people really take lunch break, they take their role way too explicitly, meaning if it falls a little out of what they signed up for, it's just a hard no. I don't like working with those people because those are the people who give you exactly the amount of work they need to not be fired. I don't want that. I don't want the person to be working just enough so I don't fire him. I want me to have employees I could trust. I could trust that they want to be there. When people want to be there, that's like a whole different ballgame than when they are wanting their paycheck and they don't want to be fired. That's a different mindset. Nobody wants the people who are working just because they need the money and they don't really want to be there, because that's poor morale for a company and stuff. And you know what? As a leader, when you look like you can still do every person's role, that's important. Now, again, people have specialties and not everyone's capable of everything. There's plenty of CEOs out there who can't program computers, but they have a whole team of programmers working for them. That's okay. But you should at least know what the programming languages are and what they do. And if you can't identify the programming languages by name in the applications within your company, then that's a problem. That makes you blindfolded. All right, so the camera mount failed again and the camera dropped off the sunroof. Luckily, they make these GoPros pretty sturdy. Anyhow, as I was saying, honestly, that threw me completely. I lost track of what I was saying. But we were talking about being hands-on with the businesses you operate. Now, an obvious side effect of just being physical and with what you do is being in shape. And I think that's really important for any form of entrepreneur, especially of a startup. We have so many duties to do. You have to stay in shape. It's very important. Obviously, there's plenty of overweight, under-muscled entrepreneurs out there who do very well. I'm not claiming that it's a requirement, but it's important, because what happens is when you're physically in shape, you have a lot more energy to do things. You don't feel exhausted. You don't feel lazy or tired on a regular basis. I've been out of shape in my life, and I can tell you there's a really big difference. I don't know if you watching this right now have the perspective of both sides of the table, but I do. And I can tell you that the amount of hours I need to sleep went down just by being physically in shape. The amount of rest I needed in a day went down. I can go a lot more hours and function when you're in shape. It's simple as that. The aspect of how much energy you have for the activities of the day change. People who go and work out at the gym get more energy. So you'd think, oh, I'm tired from the gym. Yeah, you are right after the gym. What the heck? Wow, that guy's got some exhaust on that Mustang. Yes, after you walk out of the gym 5 minutes later, yes, you're tired. But what happens is you get so much more energy overall from the amount of hours that you can function in a day just by staying in shape. That is worth it. It's an interesting thing. It's like putting in the effort so you can get back twice the results. It's like a business. You put in a little bit of money, you get back a whole lot more money if it's successful. It's important to work out. It's not critical. Like I said, there are plenty of overweight, under-muscled entrepreneurs out there who do very well. But for the most part, being healthy makes everything easier. My grandfather used to say, it's good to get old so long as you're healthy, because the reality is you can't buy health. You can buy doctors' assistants, but you can't really buy health. People who are sick beyond what a doctor can help, that's it. There's nothing that you can do about it. No money in the world you can earn to make that better. So staying in shape is very important in my personal perspective, and it really helps business-wise because you can operate more hours of a day. You have more energy. You can get you get super excited. At least I do. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But in any case, the other aspect is nourishment. Mind you, I don't know if you could see that like soda down here. We'll ignore that. It's carbonated coffee. It's not actually soda. Just pretend you don't see that. Do as I say, not as I do. No, nourishment is very important as well. People have to eat. It's important to learn how to eat healthy. This is something I didn't learn until maybe a few years ago, and it also changed a lot of my energy level. I didn't eat breakfast until a few years ago, ever in my life. I just never really got hungry in the morning. And I didn't realize it mattered. And I know, yeah, on the TV shows they all say it's the most important meal of the day, blah, 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 blah. I did the experiment, the A/B test. I started eating breakfast even though I wasn't hungry in the morning. And all of a sudden I had more energy. And I didn't know why. Then I started changing my diet because I used to eat one meal a day, one really big meal a day. That was pretty much my diet. Not healthy. And I was heavy at that time. I learned from some videos of, I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was saying how no, it was not Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was the world's strongest man, what was his name? Brian Shaw. And I was watching his diet, and he eats 9 times a day, this guy. I mean, mind you, he's 450 pounds of muscle and some fat, but 450 pounds, he eats 9 times a day, 9 meals a day. So obviously that's not healthy for a standard sized person. He's 6'10". But eating frequently in small amounts turns out to be a lot healthier than eating larger amounts less frequently. And this is something I learned from watching people who are real muscle men. I mean, these guys know their stuff. I've watched videos of Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about bodybuilding and health and diet. I've watched plenty of videos from Brian Shaw, the world's strongest man. They're very impressive people. They've achieved it. Learn from them. You got to learn from people who do things to the best of the ability in the world. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Brian Shaw are among the world's most successful bodybuilders. Okay, or strongmen, whatever the proper term is. Learn from these people. They're telling you how to eat on video, just on YouTube. Go on there. It's right there. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger is an old man right now. He can still kick butt of most of the people who come in his way. I mean, that dude, I think he's in his 70s. He can wipe most young whippersnappers off their feet, you know? I mean, he's a tough dude. So you gotta be aware of diet. It's very important. So the diet that works for me, and not everyone's body responds the same, is a lot of small meals throughout the day, and that just works for me. I don't know, which is the opposite of what I was doing. I was literally eating one large meal a day, and just naturally I feel energized for the day. And I didn't realize that when you don't eat for a while, you start to weaken. I never paid attention to that feeling until I realized food keeps you alive. It really works. All these things, most people don't think about the diet they eat. Have you ever read the ingredients of the food you buy? I read the ingredients of everything I buy. Now, mind you, I speed read, so it's not like I stand there in a supermarket for half an hour reading. It takes me like 3 seconds. I don't buy things that have corn syrup in it. I don't believe that's healthy. It's my theory. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. I believe that is what makes people obese in the United States, is the amount of corn syrup in our products. It's my own theory. It's not fact, and you don't have to believe it if you don't want to. It's working for me. I don't eat corn syrup as much as possible, at least when I buy things. I don't buy things that have really long labels of food ingredients. If I buy bread, it's got to have 3 ingredients, 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast, whatever it takes. If it's this long, what are you putting in my bread, you know? So eating healthy changes the amount of energy in the day. And I know this is a diversion, this is a leadership-focused topic of this channel, but still, it's important to be strong, to be healthy. What kind of leader are you going to be when 3 hours into the day you're tired? You're tired. Some of the greatest leaders in American political history from like 100+ years ago, they used to never show signs of being tired. They would hide it. And nobody wants to see their boss yawning. You don't want to see that. You want to see a boss full of energy. Some people are more naturally adept at that than others. I personally am. As you can see, I'm pretty excitable. You don't have to be the hold on, guy hitting the brakes really hard in front of me. You don't have to be, the next TV personality, but you can't look lethargic and catatonic. You gotta have some energy. When you are standing in front of your board, show it like you care. Don't show it like, hey, I woke up this morning. Nobody wants to see that. Oh my God. I once had a meeting with someone, and I walked into their office and the lights were down dim. They had a dimmer on the light switch. And they're like, I got a migraine. I hope you don't mind if I lower the lights. And I'm like, okay, do whatever you want. And we got through this meeting, and it was like, for me, pulling teeth, because I'm sitting there going, who the heck would want to work with someone like this? You got a migraine and you're making me aware of it. Your office has got the lights down dim. You know what? All those things are human being, natural things that happen to people. That's fine. Cancel the meeting. Reschedule it for a time when you feel good enough to talk to me. I do not want to be in a dark office with you yawning and holding your noggin like this, wishing for them to suck down the next Advil. That's not putting on a good impression. You got to be alive. You have to have power and strength in your being when you're a proper leader. Mind you, that person was the director of a substantial charity. I had nothing to do with that charity after that. I literally just walked. I said, this place is going to go down the toilet. I don't know if it really did, but I think they had some political problems with people taking money in the organization. I'm not sure what happened there. Anyhow, I digress. Make sure you got a lot of power in you, and that both means power in in the impression you give off, and also physical power. You got to energize yourself. Keep yourself healthy. Eat the right foods. Most people think they're eating the right foods, and they don't really know how to eat the right foods. Do some research on health. So many people think the word diet means healthy. I was shocked at this. I didn't even know that there were this theory, but apparently people think diet means healthy. People buy diet soda and assume that means it's healthy. No, it's still soda. It's just more chemical. That's all it is. It has lower caloric intake, but it doesn't mean it's healthy. That's not health. Health is not drinking chemical sodas, No chemical soda. What the heck? This guy just cut me off. He's going 10 miles an hour below the speed limit, and he just pulled right in front of me. New York. I'm back in New York City, I guess. You could have stayed in the other lane. He's driving slow. He's playing with his phone. I can see it. All right, anyhow. Gotta pass him. So you gotta make sure you understand what health really means. Learn from the people who really get it. Learn from the people who have proven their health. When you have 100-year-old people who look like they're 50, okay, those are the people you learn from when they give you health advice. N.W. Walker, the famous guy, he's not alive anymore. He died at like 102 or something like this. He was the guy who was nicknamed the Juice Man. He wrote a bunch of books. Learn from people like that about nutrition and health. Don't learn from people on television who tell you diet soda is healthy. It ain't. That's BS. Anyhow, On that note, I have managed to completely drive back from Westchester to the boogie down Bronx, and I think that's about all I've got to say for today. Stay healthy, stay alert, stay strong, be hands-on in the work you do, and you'll be a better entrepreneur and a better leader if you do. See you in the next video. Like, subscribe, share this video, even if you don't agree with me, even if you are a fat slob who refuses to go to the gym and are proud of it and think I'm completely wrong. Share this video because you're awesome. Alright, stick around. See you in the next video.
Yeah!